You're listening to The Sacred CEO, your go-to mini podcast for energy-boosted business magic. I'm Elyse Falzone, your spiritual sage, and here we treat your business like the living, breathing soul that it is. Energy meets strategy. Each episode, I'll channel insights, check in with the chakra blueprint of your organization, and give your business the soulful upgrade it's been waiting for. Let's make business sacred and successful. We're back. I cannot be more excited. Today is the day after my 40th birthday. I am officially the big 4-0, and I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to talk about a lot of things. I feel like so much life has happened in the past couple of months since I've put out a podcast recording, but the energy is back. The fire is here, and we are going to talk a lot about a lot today. I got right before this, I actually had a little frustrating moment, which I'll talk about later, but I did like a little internal scream and my vocal cords are like, why the fuck did you do that? So if I'm clearing my throat a lot, that's why, which is also just really funny to me because sometimes when we're ready to share things and we're ready to come back and be seen, we can self-sabotage in different ways. And so I had a little laughing moment like, I wonder if I sort of self-sabotage my throat before coming on to talk. But here we are. Today's conversation, not only am I going to share some really beautiful reclamation moments of the day of my birth and birthday and what birthdays have meant to me in the past and how I'm claiming them to mean moving forward. We're going to talk about commitment and playing full out in life and in the game of your business and the business world. And we're also going to be talking about sharing and how important it is to really share what is going on in your business and to actually let people know what your offers are. Because if you don't let people know what your offers are, then they don't know how to buy from you. And therefore, there's no opportunity for you to make that extra cash and boost your business. So we're going to talk in circles, in squares, in triangles, and in diamonds. We are going to talk all over the board today and bring forward some things that hopefully are relatable to you and also some action steps that you can put into your business to really propel you forward. So I feel like I want to talk about this big 40th birthday. So many people aren't always excited about the age, but I've really come to learn that age really isn't about the number. It's really about where you are in your life. How are you feeling? What are you expressing? How are you embodied? I feel like I am the most embodied that I have ever been in my life in this very moment. And I'm sure there's more to go. And as I quote unquote age, or as the number changes, there will be more opportunities to embody. But this birthday has been, I was going to say a long time coming. It's like, duh, it's been 40 years coming, 40 years in the making because it's my 40th birthday. But what I really mean is that the way that I feel in my body, in my nervous system on my birthday is very different this year than many other years in the past. So I am going to take you back to when I was 13 years old. Actually, even before that. So before I was 13 years old, I actually loved my birthdays. I had birthdays there was a place where I grew up called Discovery Zone, and it was like a big, like almost like a Chuck E. Cheese moment, but it had like ball pits and slides, and it was really cool. I loved it. So I would have birthdays there. We would have them at the place where I did gymnastics. We would have them, in just like fun areas. And then for my sister's birthday, I was always like the director of my sister's birthday. And we would like do scavenger hunts, and we used to like fill jars with jelly beans or fill jars with like Skittles or something. And you had to guess the number of Skittles in the jar or the number of jelly beans in the jar. And like, if you won or like whoever got closest to the number that was actually in the jar, got a prize, got to keep the jar. I mean, we did talent shows for my sister's birthday. Birthdays were always like a really fun thing for me. And I loved birthdays. And then my 13th birthday, which was a birthday that would have happened during middle school. Now, this is the time when I had a junior high, not a middle school. So we just had sixth and no, wait, no, lies. We had seventh and eighth grade together. So where I went to school, seventh and eighth graders were together. Sixth grade was still considered elementary school. But that seventh, eighth grade year, right? It's like six different schools or like six different school district, not school districts. What am I trying to say? Just like six different schools like merge into one school. So you've got new friends, you've got new dynamics, you've got new XYZ, XYZ. On my 13th birthday, I invited so many people, my gymnastics friends, my dance friends, my school friends, and there was only one person who showed up to my birthday, and it was my neighbor, Ashley, down the street. And she was a really good friend of mine at the time, and she showed up, which was amazing. But instead of me as a 13-year-old celebrating that one friend who showed up, I chose to focus on all of the people that didn't show up. And this particular party was going to be at my house. I mean, I had like everything planned. I had the scavenger hunt planned. I had the whole experience of what we were going to do. And one person showed up and we made the best of it. You know, we, this is so funny, but we used to, this friend Ashley and I, we would try on clothes from my closet, like crazy, like swim goggles and a boa and a skirt and a bathing suit top and one high heel and one tennis shoe. Like nothing ever matched, right? We were like being intentionally crazy and silly. And then we would turn the lights off in the bedroom. And then of course we had like um we did it with Polaroid cameras, but I actually think I had at that time maybe like a just a snap, like a point and shoot camera that you could set the timer for. And we would turn the lights off, set the timer, and then do a crazy pose. And then of course we never knew what those poses looked like until we waited the 2 weeks for the film to develop and go to CVS and get the pictures. Actually, I think I went to Kmart at the time to get all my film like processed. Anyway, we're going down like memory lane here. There is a purpose to this, and I am going to wrap this back around to what I'm going through, thresholds, and why this birthday is so important. So, yes, we had fun and we made the most of it, but it was at that particular birthday that I decided that I wasn't worthy. And I decided, I'm sure there were other things, you know, before, and we could go back to like the root of all of that, that why I even decided that at that moment. But at that moment, I decided that I was not worthy and that people were not going to show up for me when I asked them to. So it was at that point in time that I stopped asking people to show up for me. I felt like I was taking up too much space, that people didn't think that what I had to say was valuable and that me as a person's value was not there. And for many, many years, I had a really interesting dance with birthdays. And you can see my eyes are, for those of you who are watching this episode, you can see that my eyes are watering. For those of you who are just listening, my eyes are watering and I'm feeling that trepidation in my physical body. And you may have an experience where you know, like, this was the moment that this is what you decided. My nervous system decided that birthdays were not safe, that birthdays made me feel a certain way. And so for the next few years, like I didn't really celebrate my birthday. I can't remember any of my birthday stuff. I do remember my 18th birthday. A different friend of mine named Ashley and my other friend Allison, we did have a little birthday moment. I had Malibu rum was like my birthday gift and this big love pillow. I can remember it so clearly. I remember what I was wearing. We were seniors in high school and I remember my friend Ashley, as I mentioned, it was a different friend Ashley, but I remember her really saying like, no, we're going to celebrate you. And um there was like, there's been little bits of reclamation along the way, but doing anything with a big group of people on my birthday has felt so overwhelming. And I just gave up on ever trying to actually like plan a birthday for myself. And the moments that I did try to plan it along the way, people wouldn't show up, or I would make it mean something about me, even if it was like everybody was out of town. Like clearly that wasn't like they weren't leaving town because of me, but that's how my system and that's how that traumatic moment landed in my body. And so I had this really interesting dance around birthdays. And then thankfully I met some new, beautiful, amazing soul sisters and friends when I moved to Los Angeles. For those of you who don't know, I lived in Los Angeles for 10 years, a few years like out of college time frame, danced, performed, massage therapy, health and nutrition coaching, just really built a very, very cool, beautiful life out in Los Angeles. And during that time, I had a beautiful friend, Monica, who is still a very dear friend of mine today. She showed me what it was like to be celebrated. And there were surprise birthdays, birthdays with multiple stops, watching the sunrise at the Culver City Hills, and being celebrated with white roses and music, and people sharing their love for me, and drinks and dinner, and just like so many beautiful moments that I had a few different years out in Los Angeles that were really valuable and powerful. But for whatever reason, that storyline still overrode all of these beautiful things. It was like I was still holding on to it for some reason. And the older I got, and once I had kids, it was like, let's celebrate everybody else's birthday. But when it comes to my birthday, like, I don't want to do anything. It was so overwhelming, and it brought me so much emotion and so much angst. Like, if I did have an idea to do something, it's like I told like 3 people, and if they couldn't do it, then I would just like cry myself to sleep. So this year for 40, I said, I want to do something. I want to do something big. I want to do something powerful. I want to do something that is reclaiming this birthday experience. And I don't get to care if people show up or not. That this birthday reclamation is for me. It is for me to choose me inside of my birthday. It is for me to say, yes, my life is valuable. Y'all, the amount of times in this lifetime that I've had to choose to stay here on this planet, my goodness, it's a lot. And so, especially after my near-death experience a few years ago, choosing life and choosing me takes on a whole new meaning. And so I said, I want to do something. I want to do something big. I want to take a trip. So we're taking a trip, and I'm really excited about it. And there's beautiful people who are showing up for that trip. But in the process of planning that, I broke down a bajillion times, like a bajillion times. I had it planned for like 6 months so that people could prepare for the trip. And I stalled and I stalled and I stalled. It took me 2 months to make those invitations to those people. And then I broke down many more times. And then. But what happened through this process is I started talking about my birthday. I started saying like, hey, my 40th birthday is this year. Hey, everybody, March 19th is my birthday. Hey, guess what? I'm so excited about this threshold. I feel strong. I feel ready. I'm anchoring it in my body. Hey, guess what, everybody? My birthday is here. And what started to happen was really profound. A friend of mine, Erica, and her family came to visit a couple of weeks ago in honor of my birthday, to celebrate, to have fun, to experience, to play. I had the most incredible, beautiful, heartfelt messages for my birthday yesterday. Thank you to each of you who sent one to me. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of your schedule to say something to me. I'm going to get emotional again. It's hard to remember everybody's birthday. It's hard to remember my own family's birthday, let alone people out there in life. And I know Facebook helps us and different things help us, right? We see people posting, but for someone to take time out of their day, it means a lot. But the message here around this that relates to business, which is so freaking funny, is that all of these years, I've wanted people to share, to say happy birthday. I've even had family members forget to tell me happy birthday. And I would make it mean so much about myself, y'all. But what I realized is that when I claimed excitement around my birthday and I shared with people it was my birthday, guess what? People wanted to say something. The outpouring of love and the wave of love that I had yesterday for my birthday, and it continues to spill in, would not have happened if I would have stayed quiet and not opened my mouth and not shared that it was my birthday. Plus, I did an epic giveaway on Instagram for those of you who are the winners. Whoop, whoop. For those of you who played all out, some of y'all went all out, tagging everybody you know, which is so incredible. Thank you for participating in that. But the point here is so many of you, me included sometimes, complain about nobody's buying my product. Nobody's purchasing my offer. Why do I feel like it's crickets out there? 9 times out of 10, you just haven't opened your mouth enough. You haven't shared enough that your product is available for purchase. You haven't shared enough what kind of value you are bringing to someone when they buy your product. I had this giant aha moment when I sat down to record this episode. Oh my gosh. I shared about my birthday. And so people, like it was a reciprocity. People shared their love back for what I had going on for my birthday. Even though I wasn't like selling an offer, I was saying to people, hey, I'm letting everybody know it's my birthday. And so everybody that knew it was my birthday was like, oh my gosh, let me tell her happy birthday. Let me send some love. Let me send a message. Let me post something. It created a spark in someone, and they knew they had evidence of clarity that it was my birthday. But if I'm not shouting it from the rooftops, that number of messages and love that I got sent would probably be cut in half. But not because they don't love me, but because I didn't open my mouth and share. Now, I really want you to get the heart of this message. Some of y'all are struggling out there, and I have struggled in my own life many times when it comes to finances, when it comes to why aren't people buying my product? I'm capable. You are so capable. I'm genius in the work that I do. You are genius in the work that you do. And if you do not shout it from the rooftops, people are going to walk on by. Not because your work isn't valuable, but because you haven't told them it exists. This is deep. If you can get this message, I know it took a long time to arrive here through this journey and story of my birthday. But I learned a very, very powerful lesson that I have been too afraid of the failure, quote unquote, too afraid to be rejected on my birthday, that I've gone many years without even telling people it's my birthday. And so I actually have created the reality that nobody calls me on my birthday. And I'm not saying nobody. There are some of you who every single year ping me on my birthday, and I appreciate it. but it's been a personal journey. And this threshold that I am crossing, this line in the sand, this choice about a year ago that I chose, I am magnetic as fuck. And you're going to hear more about that because we have a magnetic as fuck challenge coming up really soon. Stay tuned for this. I did this last year about this time. I ran a magnetic as fuck challenge and I needed it for me. I needed that challenge for me. And it blew the doors open to what I knew possible. I've always had this magnetic energy, this like whatever you want to call it, like extrovert, even though it's funny, I'm an introverted extrovert. I think there's a new name for it now. I can't remember what that is, but I love being extroverted. I love talking and like being out and about and networking events and blah, blah, blah. But then I love to come home and have my own space. I already knew all that, but I didn't know it in the way that I know it now. And the way that I've chosen in this last year to really play full out in life. And part of that was saying, it's my birthday. It's my MF birthday. Okay. And it's time for me to reclaim that for me, that no matter who says happy birthday, no matter who shows up to the party, no matter what happens, I know that it probably actually has nothing to do with me. And whatever that story was that my 13-year-old self created, I've now loved up on her enough and said it wasn't about you. And even if it was about you, those weren't the right people to be in your life then. And had a total reframe. And even though I've tried to reframe it so many years, this year I decided for it to be a threshold, a line in the sand that never again will I feel that 13-year-old self in that way. That my 40-year-old version of choosing and reclaiming my birthday, my worth, my value, my genius, my brilliance, that is what gets to live on for the rest of my life. So what for you do you get to reclaim? A story that you get to rewrite so that your reclamation, your threshold looks different moving forward. There's one other thing that I want to talk about here because it's a level of commitment and it's a level of playing full out. There is a friend of mine that I met the first year that I moved to Los Angeles, which would have been, when did I move out to LA? 2006. I moved down to Los Angeles. And I met a guy named Pranelle Marsh, and he is incredible. An artist, a creator, knows how to show up and use his voice and just like be present with you. We worked in an entertainment company together. We would dance at bar and bat mitzvahs and be an MC. And it was such a cool experience that we did together. And so I got to know him a little bit. But over those times and over those years, he got to know my birthday and when my birthday was. And every single year, for however many years that he started doing this, I don't know exactly when he started doing it, but I would say over 10 years. Every single year on my birthday, I get a phone call from Pranelle and he sings me a birthday song, whether I answer the phone or it's on my voicemail. A phone call and a birthday song. And it's so cool because he beatbox and he's rapping and he's singing and he usually brings in like oh my gosh, I did it live yesterday when he called. I answered the phone live. So I didn't get a chance to record it, but I still have on my phone. I can scroll through on my voice messages on my like voicemail. I still have years, 2 or 3 years that are saved from Pranelle singing me happy birthday. And there's so many lessons in this. Every time he makes that phone call, I feel so loved. Every time he calls, he takes some sort of like mainstream song and puts his own words and he makes it personal. being a dancer, being a mom, celebrating your birthday, this year's 40, like he puts the personal touch in it. And he doesn't just do it for me. He does it for everybody's birthday he knows, all of his Facebook friends. He calls and he leaves a song in a voicemail. Or if you happen to catch him live, then you get to listen to it live. I mean, are you kidding me? This isn't like once a year he calls March 19th birthdays. No, this is every single day when someone has a birthday. This level of commitment and love, honestly, it's hard to fathom. I get so emotional every time I think about what he is choosing to do and how he's choosing to bring joy to people. The level of playing full out and the level of commitment that he has to bring joy to people, it is a gift. It is a gift from God. It is a gift of service, an act of service that every single day of his life, he takes however long it takes to sing people happy birthday. It's so profound to me, and it really does bring me to tears. And like I said yesterday, we had the chance to catch up because I answered the phone live and I was like, Pranelle. And before he even says anything, he just starts to sing. And as he's singing, I'm listening to these words and I'm connecting in my heart. And then we had a 10-minute conversation just catching up. He's newly married in the last couple of years. This, that, the other, how my kids and family are doing, what we're up to, the journeys I've taken, what he's creating in his life. That takes a lot of commitment. And I asked myself yesterday, I said, where in my life do I have that level of commitment? And sure, being a mom, being a wife, being a business owner, like those are commitments, but that one lasered thing to be so committed to every single day for years and years and years, it really had me ponder, and it really had me think about how often we give up on ourselves, especially in our businesses. How often and how easy is it to say, not today, I'm going to rest today. How often it is to say, I don't think I'm going to sell anything today. Oh, I don't really know what I'm selling, so I'm just not going to sell for a couple of weeks, for a month. I'm going to take my time to cocoon. That's great. That's beautiful. Especially ladies, we are cyclical beings. And trust me, there are times that I need to cocoon. But even in that, what is your commitment level to your business? And is someone else there in your life that can support you to still make sure that your message is getting out there? Going back to this theme around shouting from the rooftops that your store is open, that your services are available, that you are there to help. Please don't get caught up in the muck. By the way, I'm talking to myself too. It's gotten easier and easier over the years for me not to get quite so caught up in that muck. But we get to shout our genius from the rooftops. We get to let every single person know what we have to buy, not just for the sake of buying, but how it's going to change their life, how it's going to shift their perspective, how it's going to make something at home easier or something in their life or business easier. Their health, their wealth, their nervous system, their joy level. Thresholds, commitment, playing full out, sharing, shouting from the rooftops. I hope that this episode today inspired you to take an action, to really consider where you're playing small, and to consider what story is holding you back. This story of my 13-year-old little girl standing alone with only one friend who showed up to her birthday, that version of myself has honestly led a lot of part of my life. a lot of places where I have feared asking for support, or I have feared taking on a really big project, knowing that I can't do it by myself. And I get to welcome people in to support me. I have shied away from those things. And now it's reclamation, baby. 40, like, it just feels like such a launch pad for me. And it can be a launch pad for you too, whether you're 25, 40, 60, 75, however old you are, however young you are, whatever number is your supposed age. It doesn't matter. The launch pad can be this year. The year of the fire horse is here. There is a lot of energy working with us. But in order for it to work with us, we've got to have some focus. I've got so much goodness that is coming your way around the Magnetic as Fuck Challenge. Seriously, stay tuned. I haven't opened it yet, but stick around. This one is going to be off the charts. Take action today. If you're even so bold, make a video, a reel, a story, something, some sort of a post somewhere, wherever you do your posting, and tag me. Share what your product is. Share what your genius is. Shout from the rooftops. Whatever your version of shouting from the rooftops is. I have this product. I have this thing, and it is going to change your life. It is going to save you time. It is going to amplify this. Shout it from the rooftops and tag me so I can cheer you on. I'm so grateful if you made it all the way through this episode and through this crazy, wild story of my birthday. But we all have a version of that story. And I just invite you into the threshold of reclaiming whatever it is for you, not for anybody else out there, but you have to land it with you first. I'm so excited. I can't wait for my next episode already. It's already brewing and just really, really good goodness. I want to just say, like, hugs and kisses, everybody. Again, thank you for the birthday love. The giveaway winners, oh my gosh, I can't wait to deliver your beautiful prizes, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in to The Sacred CEO, your go-to mini podcast for energy-boosted business magic. I'm Elyse Falzone, your spiritual sage, and I'll see you on the next round. And for those of you who are ready for your own business soulful upgrade, be sure to click the link below in the show notes to apply to have your business featured on the show. Love and awakening. Bye.